Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used.
18 months after our first WGN Investigates report on questionable spending by South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard, it appears she has been forced off.
Chaos seems to be a constant in the life of Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and recently ousted Thornton Township Supervisor. Amid a whirlwind of political drama, legal battles, and public outrage, Henyard finds herself at the center of yet another controversy. From being removed from the Democratic ballot to facing accusations of reckless spending, it's clear her political career is on the line. But is this the end for her? Or is she preparing for a comeback? The drama reached new heights on a cold, bustling evening in Homewood, Illinois. Hundreds gathered at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium for a rare Democratic caucus, the first in 30 years, to select nominees for Thornton Township's leadership positions. At the center of this heated event was Tiffany Henyard, desperately fighting to hold on to her position as township supervisor. With emotions running high and the future of local leadership on the line, the caucus set the stage for a political showdown, leaving many to wonder what Henyard's next move will be.
The Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing on the ballot.
Before the event even began, cracks in Tiffany Henyard's plans started to show. According to the rules, any candidate running for township supervisor needed a full slate of 8 candidates, including positions like highway director, clerk, assessor, and trustees. However, Henyard's ticket was missing a certified assessor, which was enough to disqualify her. As a result, her name never even made it onto the ballot. Instead, Illinois State Senator and Thornton Township Democratic Committeeman Napoleon Harris seized the nomination for himself, securing his spot as the Democratic candidate for supervisor. Tension filled the room as Henyard confronted Harris, accusing him of running an illegal and unfair process. "You didn't run none of this the right way," she shouted, calling it illegal. Her frustration was palpable, and the atmosphere quickly soured. Supporters of Harris responded with a mocking rendition of a late 60s pop classic, further escalating the tension as Henyard stormed out, visibly shaken. It was a scene that could have been ripped from a political soap opera, with headlines practically writing themselves. Henyard had been outmaneuvered, her political ambitions derailed, at least for now.
My prime example of people that's puppet masters trying to control the...
But Tiffany Henyard didn't go down without a fight. Outside the auditorium, she vowed to challenge the outcome, claiming the entire process was rigged against her. According to Henyard, many of her supporters were shut out, literally. She had arranged for buses to bring senior citizens to vote on her behalf, but many arrived late and were unable to enter the venue, which had already reached its 600-person capacity. To Henyard, this wasn't a coincidence. "This is illegal," she declared, promising legal action. "I will be suing everyone tomorrow." As dramatic as her exit was, the fallout was just as messy. Henyard's attorney argued that the caucus rules had been selectively enforced and that her slate of candidates was unfairly disqualified. On the other side, Harris's camp maintained that everything was done according to the rules. His attorney emphasized that the rules had been made available in advance and dismissed Henyard's claims as baseless. "This is the process that's been going on long before me, and I'm just exercising my role as committeeman to hold a caucus," Harris said, defending the caucus as a legitimate and democratic tradition. For Harris, the caucus was a strategic victory. By switching from a primary to a caucus, he effectively eliminated the need to face Henyard in a larger election. Henyard, however, saw it as a calculated move to silence her and her supporters.
There are perception issues with it that are right to get attention. Will the court look at those perception issues? Probably not, but the voters certainly should.
While Henyard's political opponents celebrated their victory, her allies rallied behind her, insisting she still had a path forward. Supporters argued that she could launch a successful write-in campaign relying on her name recognition and loyal voter base. "I think enough people know her name to write her in," said Keith Price, a vocal Henyard ally. "We could still win it yet." However, Henyard's career has been plagued by scandal after scandal, and her critics believe her latest defeat is a long overdue reckoning. Over the past year, she's faced allegations of corruption, reckless spending, and misuse of township resources. Reports revealed that township funds were used for lavish trips, first-class flights, and expensive meals. One shocking revelation even detailed how Henyard allegedly spent tens of thousands of township dollars on Amazon purchases, leaving critics questioning how such spending could possibly benefit her constituents. For many, these scandals overshadowed any political ambition she still held.
For a while, it's like, grassroots. It was organic when a lot of this things started at the township, where the people were, just showing.
Henyard's leadership style has been described as abrasive and confrontational, often alienating both colleagues and residents. During a recent Dalton Village board meeting, she defiantly declared, "Like it or not, I am your mayor." Many attendees responded by walking out or turning their backs to her, signaling just how divided the community has become under her leadership. Adding to her troubles, Dalton has been without a permanent police chief for most of the year, leaving the department in disarray. And your Henyard's handpicked interim chief was recently forced out after a judge ruled that he's unqualified. Meanwhile, morale among Dalton police officers has reportedly plummeted, with many feeling unsupported and overburdened. Henyard's handling of both the police department and her leadership style has only deepened the challenges she faces.
Fights 32 minutes to an individual that doesn't give a damn about anybody's time but her.
The lack of stable police leadership has not only caused internal disarray but has also contributed to a public safety crisis in Dalton. Residents have voiced growing concerns about rising crime, with some blaming Henyard's administration for failing to allocate the necessary resources to law enforcement. Critics argue that her focus on personal security, spending hundreds of thousands of township funds on her own police detail, has left the community vulnerable. Even more alarming are allegations that Henyard has weaponized the police department for personal and political gain. Several local business owners have claimed they were targeted for raids after refusing to make donations to events connected to Henyard. These chilling accusations have sent shockwaves through the community, with some business leaders calling it a blatant abuse of power, further fueling distrust in her leadership.
Not let her get back and to be the mayor, and we already know she's not going to win that supervisor seat.
The controversy surrounding Henyard's leadership has extended into Dalton's finances. Beyond a reported deficit, her administration is accused of blocking grant funding for critical community projects. For instance, a $400,000 grant intended to revitalize local parks is now at risk of expiring because Henyard's office allegedly refused to issue the necessary permits. Park district officials have publicly criticized her, claiming she's prioritizing political grudges over the needs of residents. One official stated, "The people of Dalton are paying the price for this petty feud."
Respect that you guys displayed at that mic is
These financial disputes have deepened the rift between Henyard and her critics. Some trustees have suggested that her financial mismanagement is intentional, with one alleging that her push to drastically reduce the salary for future township supervisors is a calculated move to consolidate power. She's trying to ensure no one else has the resources to challenge her authority, the trustee said. This claim has fueled speculation that Henyard views her public roles as personal fiefs rather than positions of service.
by 82%. Know this, I am going to come through on a landslide just like Trump did. Know that I will be victorious.
Henyard's financial management has also come under scrutiny. A report by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed that Dalton's general fund balance plummeted from over $5 million in 2022 to a deficit of more than $3 million by 2024. The report highlighted questionable expenses, including luxury purchases and unexplained credit card charges. Critics have called for greater accountability, with some even labeling Henyard as the worst mayor in America.
Subjects, we are your bosses. We are the citizens of Dalton, and you will not continue to treat us like this because you are on the...
Despite the mounting controversies, Henyard remains defiant. She has dismissed her critics as political opportunists and vowed to keep fighting for her constituents. The show will go on, she declared. However, with ongoing legal battles, investigations, and a community that seems increasingly divided, it's hard to see how she can recover from the political and personal blows she's sustained. Yet, Henyard's defiance has not silenced calls for accountability. Community activists and watchdog groups have started organizing town halls and forums to demand transparency from her administration. Some have even proposed petitioning for a state audit of Dolton's finances, hoping to uncover the full extent of what they call unchecked corruption. One activist remarked, "If she's innocent, she should welcome a full investigation. But if she's guilty, the people deserve to know the truth." These efforts signal that Henyard's challenges are not just political, they have become a grassroots movement for change. The public has watched all of this unfold with a mixture of fascination and disbelief. Social media is buzzing with commentary about Henyard's latest controversies, with both critics and supporters weighing in on her future. One commenter summed up the sentiments of many. "She didn't get a chance to speak. What's left to say? Bye, Felicia." Another was more blunt. "That woman needs to be arrested and her assets seized before she's put in prison for life." At this point, it's hard to predict what's next for Henyard. Will she rally her supporters and stage a comeback? Or is this the final chapter in her tumultuous political career? One thing is certain, her story is far from over. As investigations continue and lawsuits pile up, the drama surrounding Tiffany Henyard shows no signs of slowing down. But as the dust settles on her latest defeat, one can't help but wonder, will this be the scandal that finally brings her down? Or will she once again defy the odds and emerge stronger than ever? Stay tuned for more updates on this wild political saga.